We are going to build a reviews and ratings collection, basic app using Bolt.new. It's going to be on Next.js. It's going to connect to Supabase. You can't actually connect to Supabase from Bolt.new with the Next.js project, so we're going to do that manually, which is great because then you'll know the process for doing it anyway. We're going to jump in here, but first I just want to say if you still haven't started using the command line, check out the link in the description because there's a free 5-minute a day for 5-day little email course where you can start learning the command line just to get comfortable with it. This is all really important when you're trying to build things and escape third-party services and build your own AI agents, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to need to learn the command line. So to start getting comfortable, check out that link. Let's get started here with Claude, where we're going to make a whole prompt for us to give to Bolt.new, and then we'll go from there. So let's be real, I could have just used Senya for this. However, it's $30. There's a lot of functionality in here, and I love Senya. I think it's a great service. The problem is, I'm not making any money right now with all of this, and this is such a basic thing I need. This is such a basic form I need to create. Even here, you see my testimonial form is really basic. How would you rank the email course? If it's bad, sorry to hear that, it goes to this screen. If it's good, it goes to this screen. And there it is. But I honestly think there's a few too many screens. And also, I don't like the collect host testimonials with Senya thing. I just don't need this. And you can do so much here. And if you do need it, you know, I think Senya is a great service. I like the spin the wheel thing, but I don't need it. So I thought, hey, I'm just going to build my own basic review. So I made this flowchart that says, okay, here's the main screen. If it's 3 stars, it goes here. How can I make it better? If it's 4 stars, that's great to hear. Please leave a review if you'd like. I'd really appreciate it. And then awesome last thing, you ask for your name, website, and photo. Then it goes to a thank you page, and then it's going to offer you a free download. So basically, it's going to be the end of my free email course where you can learn the very basics of the command line just to get comfortable. A few exercises, 5 minutes a day in your inbox. And then, hey, if you want this cheat sheet, if you want to keep going, leave me a review. Thanks. And then if it's a bad review, then I'll make it better. And if it's a good review, I have a testimonial. So it's a win-win, win-win-win. So I took that I took that flowchart, I uploaded it here to Claude. I said, yo, Claude, here's a flowchart, and I want to design an email app. So I pretty much prompted it here saying what I want. I said, don't write the code, just outline this as a PDR, a product description requirements document. So then it gave me this, and I realized I was missing some things. So it told me, so later on here under technical requirements, it didn't mention like what should we use for storage, how should we do this. It did know I want API endpoints. It does know we need API endpoints, process and store user feedback, not to mention display it on my landing page for the bootcamp eventually. So I just recognized we can get a little more specific here before we send it to Bolt. So I prompted it again. I said, okay, after a positive and negative review is left, it needs a webhook. So I can use make.com to automatically send the review to Notion for my records and alert me via email. I want to be able to embed the positive reviews as a JavaScript code, just like Senya. And then storage. Should we use Supabase or do we even need storage? Because I can just have the form process itself after submission and just become a JSON file. I thought, hey, why not? I'm not a developer, but that's just kind of how I saw it. Like, why don't we just see if that would work? But after I said that, Claude still said we're going to use Supabase right here. It recommends Supabase. So fine, we'll use Supabase. And boom, we got our API endpoints, alternative Next.js with JSON storage. So this is if we don't use Supabase. API routes to handle review submissions, store reviews with JSON files, which is kind of what I want. Implement a simple file-based database with indexing, use serverless functions. Less scalable long-term. Do I care? Manual backup management required. Additional work needed for real-time updates. That's a good point because we'd have to redeploy, rebuild. We'd have to rebuild the Next.js project. So, all right, let's use the recommended stack. And then I asked if user uploads a photo and it needs compression, how are we going to do that? Okay, so finally, I'm just going to say here at the bottom, I accept your recommendations. Please consolidate all the data we need and remove anything unnecessary into a single document. Okay, so I said put it all, clean it up, put it into one document for me, and that's what I'm going to give to Bolt.new. Bolt.new, Bolt.new. There we go. I'm going to copy all that. I'm going to come over here to Bolt. And I'm just literally going to paste that there. We're going to give it all the information here. I could have just done this straight through Bolt, but after messing around with Bolt kind of a lot, I recognize that just like any prompting of an LLM, the more you can give it to work with, the better job it's going to do the first time. But just like making content or whatever, you got to prepare. Okay, here we go. It already built it. Thanks. Oh, great. This is just like Senya does it. Continue. Didn't do anything else though. All right, so then, okay, so I say continue to next step. Now it's setting up Supabase. Now I need to connect to Supabase. So yeah, Bolt thinks I can connect to Supabase up here, but it's telling me that it's not yet supported with Next.js. So I'm going to go to Supabase and I'm just going to find my API key. So I'm going to create a new project here, new organization. We'll call this we'll call it the Jordan Herbs. Yeah, I'm just going to leave the defaults here. All right, I'm now going to copy and paste this into Bolt. Supabase project. And then we got an API key. Copy that. And finally, I'll even give it that. All right, so I'm giving it all the information there. And now we shouldn't need to worry about this connect to Supabase situation. Now let's continue. I'm just going to test everything at the end of it to see how well it did. So it's building, it's building, it's building. It's interesting. I feel like one day we may not even need a command line anymore. You just got to learn how to, you just got to know how to prompt. Okay. So it looks like it did everything. So let's see how it goes. That's great to hear. Would you mind sharing experience? This was such a great course. I recommend it to everyone. Continue. JordanHerbs.com. Oh, so it didn't even ask for a photo. Okay, so it had some issues. Let's try to fix it. Create an optional photo upload field when prompting the... Okay, guys, so I had to start over, and I wasn't recording. But basically, all I did was, after looking at the Supabase reviews of how to use it with Next.js, I kind of went in here and I copied some more of this. Apparently, there's a Supabase template for Next.js. So I told Claude we want to use that. I gave it my API key, and so Claude remade my PDR document to fix that up and added some extra code in there. So then I took it back to Bolt.new, and I'm basically back to where we started. But we have some, it's just going to look a different. How do you rate the email course? But it's looking a little different, and we'll tweak it later, but let's see what happens. 5 stars. Was a great course. See, it doesn't have the photo functionality. Oh, it says it hasn't added that yet, which is good because we were having some issues with it before. JordanHerbs.com, submit review. Thank you for testimonial. Boom. Here's your bonus. All right. So now it doesn't look like Supabase has been integrated. Otherwise, it's a cool flow. I guess what we could just test is, how does it look if it's bad? It sucked. Continue. Thanks for the feedback. Okay, great. So let's continue with Supabase. This is actually kind of cool. I think I might just bring my lead magnet landing page. I think I might just bring the whole landing page here and just have a little lead magnet app. In fact, maybe that's a good startup idea, Greg Eisenberg. Have me on your show. I actually did have a good idea for Greg's show. I'm going to do it first and build it, and then I'm going to share about it, and then I'm going to see if I can go on his show. But I'm calling the project codename Eisenberg because I think it'd be a really cool thing to share on his show. I've been really into his show lately, all the guests. I'm like, this is like the culture I've been like trying to tap into for a long time because it's not really the startup world. I'm not into the startup world, like Silicon Valley. I touched that before. I didn't like the feeling of it. It's not really the solopreneur space as much either. It's just like people that like building things. And there's no prejudice. There's no like judgment like in crypto and Bitcoin. It's just like people building shit, sharing good ideas, wanting success for everyone. I appreciate the community you're building, Greg Eisenberg. Okay, so now it wants us to connect to Supabase, but that doesn't work there. Create the reviews table. Okay, let's see. Was it able to connect to Supabase? Supabase URL is required. So now I'm going to see if it actually made my .m file. Bolt seems to ignore certain things. Yeah, it did. So I'm going to go back to Claude and I'm going to copy, actually, I'm not even going to tell the agent. I'm just going to make a new file. Not in there. No. How do I make a new file out there? New file. .env. And I'm going to paste that in there. Supabase URL. Great. Let me check over here and make sure it's right. Okay, so all my data is in there, which is good. And then max image size. What did I say I want it to be? Like 800 kilobytes or 800,000 bytes. I guess that's what it is. Okay, so we got the .env file, which is the Supabase URL, which it was missing. So let's start with that and let's see if it's working. Attempt the fix. I added a .env file with the Supabase keys. Let's see how that goes. Oh, I guess it already knew based on that last error. Okay, so it's trying this out again. I'm gonna check these though again, and didn't let me. So let's see, 5 stars. Dope. Nerves.com. Submit. All right, failed. So let's see what these problems are. All right, so I tried to resolve the problems. Let's try this again. Problems, show problems. Could not find the feedback content column of reviews in the Schema cache. Okay, so it sounds like feedback content column of reviews. It sounds like this is a Supabase thing. Okay, so we're here in reviews, and it's saying could not find the feedback content column. I'm gonna say, can we write a script? Can we write and run a script that adds these columns to the reviews database schema and Supabase? It's funny because this video was supposed to be pretty straightforward. I didn't think we need to do all this with Supabase. So this is good. We're debugging. If nothing else, like I always try to say, when you're building this way, it's really just about how good you are at figuring out what's going on and debugging and solving problems, because the AI and LLMs will still do everything for you. You just have to be competent enough to figure it out as it goes. All right, so let's see if that worked. I'm gonna refresh this. Go to your Supabase dashboard, navigate to the SQL editor, copy and paste the contents of the new migration file. Okay, I don't know how to do any of this, but let's see. All right, so I'm copying all this. Copy and paste to the new migration file. Navigate to the SQL editor. Oh, there it is. Cool. All right, cool. So I paste that there. That was easy. Run. I guess I shouldn't say that till it's run. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna remove that. So there's no table at all. I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna paste what it said. Okay, cool. Something worked. Yeah, it made it. And it made all the columns. Okay, we did it, people. We did it. Okay, Supabase is good. So now let's run this again. Nerves. Okay, something happened. And let's see if it went over to Supabase. Gonna refresh. Oh, cool. We got a testimonial. Cool. It worked, guys. Now let's leave a negative review. Great. Refresh this again. And I got another one. Feedback type, improvement or testimonial. This is awesome. Cool. Okay. So we got the database working. Get that out of here now. I'm going to say let's continue. We got 2 more things we got to do. I'm going to do the styling to make it prettier and match the brand. I'm going to do that in Cursor because these tokens on Bolt I just feel are way more valuable, and it's using a lot of context memory here. So let's just get this image made and let's make the webhook endpoint for make.com. Okay, so let's try this image. This was a great mini course and I'm feeling stoked about using the command line now. jordannerves.com. Let's find something. Let's see if it failed to upload photo. All right, let's just explain. Photo upload is not working. Okay, let's try this again. This was truly a great course. Can't wait to implement the command line in my life. Let's continue this. Okay, we got the picture. It's uploading, bucket not found. So we ask, which bucket is the app looking for on Supabase? This has got to be one of my last commands here because this is using a lot of tokens now for not like useful things. But we'll just finish this up. We go back here and it looks like we need to create storage called review photos and reviews. It just wants to call it reviews. Okay, reviews. Okay, so we're back now. I have not been recording, but basically what I've done here, we're here in Bolt. Everything is ready to go. I had to do some final things with the Supabase connection, with the image upload, but it's finally working. I send it to StackBlitz with this export open in StackBlitz. Here we go here. There's a button up here that says connect with GitHub. So I connected it with GitHub. And then I simply take the URL here of the GitHub review, github.com. I'm going to put an HTTPS in front of it. And then I'm going to open a new window in Cursor. And then I'm going to clone repo, HTTPS. I paste that. And then I open the repo here in Cursor. Basically, the last step was taking it away from Bolt, where it's using lots of credits, and then putting it on my local computer to make these final, simpler changes, because I was using a lot of credits fixing up all this stuff on Bolt. And then here we are. Then I also ran npm run dev here in my terminal, so I could start seeing it live on my computer, which is happening right here. So we got some issues here, because I also told it, hey, use these different colors. So now it's as simple as... okay, so I need to place my background image in the public folder. So here we go. I got the public folder, which should be just on the very outside of everything. There it is now. And it wants it to be called, what does it want it to be called? Background.jpg. And now that's there. And if I refresh it, good. Now we got that. That's awesome. I also changed the colors of the stars to yellow. So let's see how this goes so far. How did you rate the email course? Great. Continue. Okay, that's kind of cool. I don't know if I like that background there. So I'm going to say that. I'm just going to go into our main page here, and I'm going to say, we're just going to say, I want the review text box to have a white background with just a white background. So now it's going to take care of that for me. I'm also going to go here into the main page, and I'm going to add a logo. We're going to use that one. Add this logo to the header center. Okay, so it's modifying the feedback form here. It's scrolling through all the files. So, oh, there, boom, it did it. I love that. So that's kind of what's cool about having npm run dev as you work. You can just see especially the design changes. Okay, so that did it. I just accept it. And now, like I said, add this logo to the header centered. Okay, so jordanherbs.png, I'm adding it to public. The image file is public jordanherbs.png. Awesome, there it is. I kind of don't like it that small. Place it. All right, so I don't want it in this container. I want it to be up here. Down here, if anything, it should say the name of whatever they're reviewing. Boom. I love that. Okay, thanks for taking the time. Continue. This was truly a great course. I recommend it to anyone. And oh, it's still there. Oh, yeah, it needs to remove the other one. I guess it's still working over here. Okay, cool. It's gone. Recommend it to anyone. Awesome. Uh-oh. So now we got these. Text boxes and upload photo button should also have white backgrounds. All right, so we got to fix that. Hopefully that'll just take care of itself as it goes. jordanherbs.com. And then upload photo. Find some photo of me. Oh, less than 800 kilobytes. A great constraint we put on there. Okay, it's generating all that. Okay, it did it. Cool. So, I mean, that could be a bit cleaner. Great. Here's your free command line 101 cheat sheet. Pretty neat, huh? Neato Torpedo. We just made an alternative to Senya. And not long at all. So once again, let's check Supabase. And let's see if it's got my new review. Yeah, okay, so now we can see we got some of my samples. So when it goes to not a lot of stars, it says improvement as feedback type. And then if it's 4 or 5 stars, it's testimonial, just what I wanted. And then there is the feedback content. And then there's the name, the website, the photo, the timestamp. So I'm going to delete these first 3, which were just testing rows. And then we're going to move on to displaying these. So I want to display these testimonials on my lead magnet page. So currently my lead magnet page, it's being completely hosted on ConvertKit, which one day I'll move to Mautic or something, but I don't like its PHP cron jobs and I don't have the time to discover other open source alternatives yet. So I'm just using ConvertKit, but here's this little landing page. It needs a little work anyway. Because really it's a basic email course. It's not like a huge deal. This is just really trying to sell you on giving me your email so you can join my newsletter, which eventually, hopefully I'll have an offer that's super valuable that you want to put money into. But for now, I want to build goodwill with a lead magnet. If you're not a business builder and creator, that's a whole nother world. But okay, so last thing, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. But I decided to just add a landing page for the email course. AI Captain's Command Line Bootcamp was just a basic sales page. Here's what you'll learn. Who's this for? And then we implement a slider of all the testimonials. So these are all my samples, and it's got everything from Supabase. So I got to definitely clean up Supabase. It shows you the stars. So this is a great way for potential leads or, whoever's interested in your email course and your lead magnet to just see like, oh, okay, a lot of people thought this was cool. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to delete these. That's pretty neat. And then at the bottom here, we see the call to action, first name and email, get started now. And I'll connect that to ConvertKit. Should be simple enough. And so this is now the actual landing page of the repo. And so see how I'm on localhost 3000. If I go to localhost port 3000/review, then it takes me here. So basically this is going to be bootcamp.jordanherbs.com/review. And then I'm just going to do this for all the lead magnets and email courses I've made over the year. So the last thing we're going to do is briefly run through how to set up your automation with make.com. So you get an email and it adds to a Notion database after you get a review, so you can know that it's there and populating your landing page. Maybe you could always add another feature that says you want to approve it first, but I'm just letting everything go for this video. So here I am. I'm going to open up the browser console. As we go through this, you just inspect and then you go to console over here. And so we're seeing everything's happening. Okay, email courses 5. This was a truly educational 5 days. To continue, got my name, Jordan Herbs, jordanherbs.com. We'll add in my new profile photo here. We're going to see if everything's working on the client side here. The upload was successful to Supabase. We're good. Submit review. And it's going. It's going. It's going. So we can see that it successfully put everything into Supabase, and then it's attempting to send to make.com, starting the webhook send, and it's sent to make.com. So that was successful. But why is it successful? Because I've already gone in here and made the whole make.com scenario, and in this new webhook, they gave me a URL to pop in. So I just copied that into Cursor, and I said, hey, Cursor, add this as the webhook to send after a new review. So then it picks it up. As we can see, it's sending to that same address here, and Make gets it. It'll create a new item in the Notion database mapped to the review. So we got the name is their username, the type is the feedback type, and the data is feedback content. This is what it'll look like inside Notion here. We see the review is here, the type. I don't have the photo in there because I don't really care that much, but I probably should put the photo in there. And there it is. Maybe I'll put the photo in here. So I'll just map that in there. Photo URL. Great. And then it's on. And so whenever, and then after it does Notion, it sends me an email through Mailgun. Same thing. Sends it to me. Said, hey, there's new feedback or new testimonial on the bootcamp. And then there it is. So pretty cool. That's the automated basic flywheel system right there, created in a very short amount of time. So I hope this was helpful in learning how to build your own mini app. It's pretty cool, I agree. If this was valuable to you, you can like and subscribe. You can join the email course and leave a review and see how it works on the other end. And make sure to subscribe if you like building with AI and you need new ideas for things you can build to replace $30 a month services, such as Senya. But no shame on Senya. Senya is a great service. I use it for other projects. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.